Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. I'm going to chat to you on my way home today because it's almost the weekend and I've not been able to bring in anything at all. When I say bring in, I mean content, be able to create some content. But I wanted to talk about courage. Courage to follow your dreams. It is not easy to follow your dreams in a world that tells you constantly who you should be, how you should be, and what you should do. But also that courage is not a one-time thing. You don't wake up and have courage. I think you build up in having courage. It's about taking those little steps day by day and evolving from it and learning from it and actually just being able to build on your strengths. I had an incident actually this week at work where I made a mistake, and usually I would have either cried my eyes out at home or pretend that it didn't happen and I had nothing to do with it. But over the years, you learn how to handle things. And one of the things that I did was to actually own it. I actually owned it, although there was no doubt that it was my mistake. And I was able to apologize for it. And you know what? I felt so confident. I felt so, I wouldn't say confident even. I want to say, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders because I was able to sit down and say, you know what, that was me. It shouldn't have happened. And I'm sorry. And the person that I had offended really felt, allegedly, that's what she told me, because that could all be, her sort of, making nice. But she said to me, the fact that I apologized was absolutely brilliant and a relief for her. So, courage to say when you're wrong, courage to own when you're wrong, and courage to approach the person or the situation without excuses. And I could have had a long story as to why I did what I did, but I didn't. I decided to, you know what, I'm not even going to explain. Never explain. I think that's one of the Queen's mottos. Never explain and never complain. Now, I mean, there's situations and times where you have to complain and you have to explain. But in this particular situation, I really didn't feel the need to explain or complain. I just said, you know what, that was my mess. I apologize and I'm sorry I offended you. I would feel exactly the same way if I was you. And it was taken in such a positive way. Also, she said that we've been able to regroup and continue. And let's see how this one pans out. I might be able to explain it, and well, not explain because we don't explain, but I'll be able to unpack it for you at some point. So for me, how does courage weave into that? It weaves into that because I felt a lot better having to own that situation. And I am no longer, although I haven't been for a while, I really don't feel ashamed in owning my mistakes these days. And that probably comes with age. As you grow older, the idea of perfectionism no longer exists, because when you're looking for perfection, it means that you're never good enough. And one of the things I'm able to do now is say, you know what, I don't know it all. I will mess up and I will make mistakes, but everything works together for good. And this one certainly did. And one of the practices that I tend to do is to be honest with myself and with people around. And that was one of the ways actually that I was called out to own the thing that I'd not done. And so, you know, as you ask, you know, whatever that you do every day, whether that's, you know, with spiritual practice or, you know, religion or pray, when you pray, you know, there will be challenges that come up with that, and you will be called upon to really sort of walk your walk and walk your talk. And that was it for me. I was able to say, you know what, I messed up, I'm sorry I messed up, and let's move on. You know, courage to face that. And maybe one day I'll tell you exactly how massive that was, because it was huge. It could have been a lot worse than I actually admitted to, but we quashed it because, you know, I owned it. And I guess the person was a bigger person than most people, and maybe I would have been, who knows, faced with the same situation. But yeah, my story about courage is to say, all that to say, courage is not, as I mentioned earlier, a thing you get to and suddenly you're courageous. It's those daily practices, is facing those challenges, and then being able to you know, accept the challenge, I guess, and rise to the challenge as well. Little steps. So for somebody else that may not have been a big deal. For somebody else it would have been, nah, no big deal, apologize and move on. For me it was a massive deal, because first of all, I don't like making mistakes. I know that's not realistic at all, and I've learned that the hard way, that we all make mistakes, and I've come to accept that. And as I said, maybe that's something to do with age, I don't know, but it's a beautiful thing. You know, aging, I think, just to digress a little bit, aging is a beautiful thing. And although the West doesn't necessarily see it as a beautiful thing, for me, both culturally and, you know, personally, I think when you age, these are some of the perks that come with it. And obviously I sound very ancient, don't I, which I'm not, but I'm definitely not 20, and I'm definitely not 30, and I'm definitely not 40, little bit more than 40, and yeah, living life and enjoying it and doing it courageously. So if you've had a situation where you've not been able to display your courage, because often when we hear about courage, we think about going to battle, we think about standing in front of, you know, a number of people to present something. That's all part of it, obviously, because it's about doing the thing that you're most scared of. And so whatever that might be for you this week, I hope you can display a level of courage, that you can choose courage instead of fear, because the only way to get rid of fear is by stepping into your greatness, by doing the thing that you think you can't do, whether that's emotional, whether that's mental, whether that's physical. It's all in you, and it's all courage. So step into it. Sorry, I was just looking at somebody who I thought was going to cross the road. Step into your greatness by being courageous. Now, sometimes courage is about prayer. Sometimes courage is about speaking when you need to. Sometimes courage is about owning mistakes. Sometimes courage is about working a job that you don't always enjoy, but you know you need to do it. And so whatever that might be for you, I wish you courage. I wish you the opportunity to step into your greatness And I wish you to build up on it daily. That's all from me. Have an amazing week and live courageously.